Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast presented by DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook. Make sure you download the app and then use the promo code CHGO when you sign up. Luke Stuckmeyer, Ryan Herrera, and Mr. Vibes, Cody Del Mendo, on a big, big day. This is the biggest day in the life of Cody Del Mendo. He's been working on this for a couple weeks. He's been thinking about it, planning it. He's been TikToking it. He's been Twittering it. We all have our shades on because we knew that Cody was coming in with his Jordan 1s, lost and found, Chicago version.
Ooh, baby.
Is this the biggest day in your shoe history?
Oh, absolutely.
I've never seen a guy with a smile like Cody came in today. Yeah. He bounced in like Sammy did the hop after he hit a home run. Cody jumped in, hopped.
I was vibing when I came in. And I don't vibe much in November, considering it's cold. But today was a good day to vibe.
And it's even a little cloudy. I'm surprised you wore those today because it is a little cloudy outside.
No rain, so, you know. Whoa. But I definitely avoided the puddles.
I was going to say, there has to be, like, I remember when we first launched, and there was still snow on the ground.
Yeah.
I had a little nicer shoes. I would, like, wear shoes that I didn't care if I was walking in the snow. I'd have to bring a second pair. Like, put the nice one on my
I did
backpack.
the same thing. I remember, like, the first month or two after we launched.
It was still snow.
Yeah. Well,
this is big.
Yeah, it's as it gets colder and there's more snow. I know that I will probably not be wearing J's because of that, and I share my car with my girlfriend now, so like she's gonna be using my car more than I am. I mean, she has been for the last like 5 months. So like I'll be taking the train a lot. And I just don't want to carry more shoes.
What number pair of Jordans is this, and do they rank number one? Because I'd say, well, those might be the best ones I've ever seen.
It was a big day on Friday or Saturday, whatever day it was.
A couple weeks ago, right? Yeah, you won. You had to win a raffle.
I won the raffle on sneakers. Yes, but I don't know. I got like 2 shelves, so I would say I have like at least 10 to 12 at least.
Wow, 12. Look at the vibes on that guy, just sitting there with the reflector shades and shady rays.
He's having a good time.
I'm decked out in Bulls gear today, and we're doing a Cubs podcast. So.
All ready to roll.
It's a good day to rep the Bulls, though. They had a big win last night.
Not much happening for the Cubs, but the vibes are high here at the CHGO Cubs podcast because I hear breaking news. There's breaking news. Do we have
breaking news?
There it is. That's right.
This is fantastic.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Cody's not the only one that won the raffle.
Whoa.
No way.
Whoa.
Cody is not the only raffle winner, everybody. That's right. MJ himself's got some shoes to unveil.
Oh.
Maverick style.
No way.
I got to see these.
No way. There's no way.
Oh.
These are what you call Grandpa Stucky
You won
vibes.
too?
Wow.
Pow.
Wow.
Pow.
What a moment.
I thought you didn't win.
I am just now learning this.
No, remember we were telling him, he's like, I never got the
Let
notification.
me take off my
Allbirds.
Let me take off my. Look
God.
at Nick over there drooling.
I don't believe
somebody
this.
Get a towel to clean up
Stucky
the
there.
floor as Nick drools
Oh
over my
my God.
shoes.
What is going on?
That's right, Mr. Rogers.
Unbelievable.
All right.
Look
at me and stuck.
Here's the deal. You know what? I got these in the mail. I won them before you did. I just didn't want to tell you.
So Stucky called me to set this whole surprise up. He said, the shoes are so dumb. They didn't come with laces. I had to go to Dick's Sporting Goods to get laces. I said, they do come with laces.
They do come with
They're
laces.
just
They do.
not
I
in
found
the
them. Hold
shoes.
on.
They're just not in the shoes.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm walking back to the first and see 'em.
Wow.
Oh,
Now
my
tell me
goodness.
who's got the best vibes. Here's the deal. My vibes are so in the pocket, you don't even know what to do with them.
We need that. We need that screen grab right there.
Yeah,
That
we
was fantastic.
definitely got to clip that.
Oh, there you go.
I am in shock right now.
How you like them, Nick?
Is this another April?
Yeah, look at that. Stucky's shoe locker.
Is this another April Fool's like Contreras thing?
No,
Like,
look at
did
these
someone
bad
else
boys.
get these and they're letting you use them for this moment?
And, ladies and gentlemen, if you are on eBay and would like to bid on these Jordan 1s for 3-4 times the price.
Luke Thickmeyer, yes.
Look at that.
All right.
Oh my God.
Huh?
That's pretty impressive.
Has there ever
you
been a
would-
better vibe on this show than this right now?
No.
I'm just
think
glad
we're
I have
all
my
vibing.
Shady Rays because at least
we
I have
got
Poor
Shady.
Shady
Ryan is
Rays,
left
and
out.
me
I don't
and
got the
Luke got
shoes.
the lost and found. So
I don't got the shoes, but at
that.
least I have the Shady Rays.
Yeah.
Luke has the vibes today. What's the chat feel about this?
I can't
we're
read the
loving
chat
it.
because
Jim says, "Is it getting hard to come up with new topics each day?" Well,
Jim, it's so difficult that I just spent almost $200 on a pair of shoes
Just
for a bit.
for
one more
just for
thing,
the show.
just
for
to
a
knock
bit.
Stucky's confidence down a peg. He slacked me this morning and said, "Hey, if you're doing Cubs, give me a call." And he sent his number.
Urgent.
There was a typo. It was the wrong number. Luckily, I already had your number saved. You sent the wrong number.
So I got the number
That's
wrong.
classic. That's
Listen,
classic
I had the number wrong. I had the shoelaces thing wrong.
Oh man.
But we got
But
the
look at
breaking
this.
news out.
Look
Wow.
and look at this. I got the CHGO script to go with it.
Yeah.
You see what's happening there? I planned that out.
Yeah, you did.
Look at you,
No
Stuck.
doubt about it.
Vibes are so in the pocket.
I'm actually really impressed. I am.
Let me get that shot for
I
you. Look how
genuinely
flexible I am.
Look at us. Like, we should screenshot this and put it on the internet.
Let's put him in front of Ryan's face because he didn't win them. Look at that. How you like those?
I'm doing the Maverick point.
Put that on the internet. I
Yeah.
expect to be tagged in at least 4 screenshots of that.
There it is.
Unbelievable.
Breaking news.
What a moment. What a moment. Okay.
Do we have the Bulls music again? I'd like to hear that one more time. There it is. There it is.
There it is.
And I just throw
Where's
'em out
Peck? Where's Peck and
Where's
Big Dave
Peck?
when you need them,
Big
man?
Dave is going to have just a grabber when he sees this. He's not going to know what to do when he sees these.
Right?
Did you see Nick? He went out. He cried on the way out.
Yeah.
He did get the 11s, though. The cherry ones.
The 11s aren't the ones.
They're not the ones.
They're not the ones.
Not
No,
these.
the ones are the best.
This is it. This is
Forever.
the best pair you can own right here.
Yep.
They were the most, the most entries to try to get this
I
year.
waited over
Really?
an hour like you did, and mine came across as a winner, and I didn't know how to tell Cody that I had won them because the deal was you had to enter your size, and I didn't. In reality, what I was trying to do was Cody made me download this app. I said, how do I do it? I'm going to download the app, and I thought I can double his chances. So I was going to put his shoe size in, but I forgot to ask him his shoe size. Then I go through this whole sneaker app thing, and they make you ask your size, and this was like minutes before it was going to go live. I'm like, I better just put mine in. I don't know what to do. I put them in, but they make you put your credit card in. So an hour later, these things were just in the mail. Like I didn't have a chance to change out the size.
Yeah.
And then Cody said he won, and I'm like, okay, well now I've got to wear these. But now, how do you walk in them so I don't crease them before I sell them?
I guess you just, yeah.
High knees.
High knees.
Get those high knees in.
Man. No, you can't see them. Now you can.
They're selling for $400 on StockX.
Yeah. Over
400
$400 bucks on StockX, yeah.
That'll go down.
Wild.
That'll go down eventually.
If you're in
I
the
don't
chat,
think so.
if you're in the
well.
chat and you wear a size 10, at me.
At Stucky.
At me. I'm just gonna wear. They're not gonna be game worn. They're just gonna be show worn for today. Never thought that was gonna happen, did you?
Yeah,
Shout
no,
out
what
to
a-
everyone who's still remained here because we have not said anything about the Cubs yet.
Oh, we did. We said it was a boring day other than the Jordans. No, here's the day. So I saw that. Did you see the article about Kevin Kiermaier from Ken Rosenthal dropped that Kiermaier wants 2 years, $24 million. So let's talk about the possibilities for both first base and center field, right? We know that Bellinger is the guy that offers you both of those if you go and get him. I don't know what price he wants, but if this is the number for Kevin Kiermaier, is it too much? And would you spend that if you're the Cubs?
I
You can
don't.
go first.
Now, I know what Collada's going to say.
I don't think it's too much. Actually, I think that's a fine deal. I don't think he's your number one. I think Cody Bellinger is the one you probably are looking for, including the fact that he plays first base also.
Right.
But if you're going after Kevin Kiermaier, I mean, 2 years, $24 million, so at AAV of $12 million a year, that's not bad, especially with how much room the Cubs have under the space this offseason, how much they will have next year too. You need a guy who can play center field at least for the first few months of this season, and then say in a perfect world, or even like a better scenario, is Brendan Davis is ready to come up in a couple months. He does really well, takes over that center field job overall, like right away. Then you got a veteran defensive first, outfielder that can play all three outfield positions, can be like your fourth outfielder, and you have him for 2 years. And he's probably not a guy that needs to start every day anymore, because he's a little on the older side. I think at that price, that's not a bad price.
He's real good defensively.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's real good defensively. So you assume that Bellinger is probably more than that for 1 year, right? Like, it sounds like they may be going for a big 1 year prove-it deal. Would you rather pay 2 for 24 for Kiermaier, or would you rather pay 1 for 30 for a guy that really was not very good last year, but he has the highest ceiling?
I don't think he's going to demand $30 million.
Yeah, there's no
All
way.
right, so what does he want for 1 year?
What was he going to get in arbitration?
Like 18 or
I didn't mean 30. I didn't mean 15 or 16, right? Like,
Okay.
let's say it's half of this.
Okay.
Let's say it's 20. 1 year, $20 million.
I would rather do Bellinger than Kiermaier.
I think in that sense you probably do. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of trying to get like a mutual option for that second year and seeing what happens. But I think at that price, yeah, you probably go for the 1 for 20 for Bellinger, because it obviously doesn't disrupt what you're trying to do at center field in 2024, and it takes money off the books after a year. At that price, I'd probably go Bellinger. He's gonna have a lot of suitors, so
Yeah.
So you definitely would have to pounce quickly, and if you have to go to a backup option, Kevin Kiermaier two at 24 is not bad in my opinion. I actually like that deal.
I think I'd rather overpay for Bellinger on a 1 year, 20 to 22 million is what I'd assume like he might get. I'd rather pay for that than 2 years of Kiermaier when we know what Kiermaier is. I think there's much higher upside for Bellinger. And again, PCA coming up 2024 most likely. Like, Kiermaier ain't going to block, or he ain't going to block PCA anyway. So
Right.
why would you want to overpay for someone like that? At least with Bellinger, there's upside. Like,
I don't think that's an overpay. $12 million in this day and age in baseball with the way salaries and again how much
like,
room-
he doesn't. He's not going to hit. I mean, it's like the center field version of freaking Andrelton Simmons. Maybe
No.
probably better hitter, but like for sure,
definitely a better
definitely
hitter.
better hitter, but still like
That's-
you're bringing him in for defense, though. And like that's what they did with Andrelton Simmons.
But the thing is, with Kiermaier, you could just actually turn him into that, like you said. Like, if the guys come up and do what they're supposed to do, Brendan Davis, PCA, Kiermaier could develop. That could be his role.
And it's not again
An expensive one. Don't get me wrong. That would be expensive.
But it's not a long-term high AAV. It's like it's $12 million a year for the next 2 years. Like, it's not for a team like the Cubs that doesn't break the bank. Like, someone that's
I
could
agree.
be who scored.
Did USA score?
There we go.
Oh, I thought you were
USA
talking
scored.
about my Jordans.
All right, we just live.
USA scored here. I thought everybody's raving about the Jordans.
U.S.
Let me get a
scored
shot.
live on this show. So
Stuckey is vibing.
anyone missing the USA game to watch this show, the U.S. just scored.
I'm gonna shoot those
big.
in portrait.
Nice.
What was I talking about? Oh, Kiermaier, right? I don't know. I like the glove. Again, he can play all three outfield positions. So it's not like you have to go out and fill out the roster with a couple more outfielders, a couple like another corner outfielder or something. You got a guy. You're the Cubs. You can afford $12 million over 2 years, and then after 2024,
sure.
you're done. Like, it's over.
I
contract's off
understand
the
that.
books.
I understand that. Whatever. Jack's yelling at me because I said that. Why would you pay? He says, why would you pay Bellinger $20 million? It's like, again, 1 year, and he's 27.
It's not our money.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't personally.
and he can
pay
play
him
some
$20
first
million,
base too. Like, I get it. You
don't have
can't.
$20 million.
You're not banking on him to get back to MVP form, but I just think that there's. I think there's better. Like, they signed say they signed Kiermaier instead. You're not really moving the needle, and I said that a lot yesterday. To me, you're not moving the needle with Kiermaier. I think you're moving the needle with Bellinger.
Apparently
I don't think you are. I don't think. Well, if you're gonna say either or.
At least people would know the name.
At that
I think
position,
you're like slightly
at
below
that
average fan
position,
doesn't know
neither's really
Kiermaier.
a needle mover unless Cody Bellinger can live up to what he did 3 years ago, and that's a tough ask. neither one is really a needle. But there's not.
I think there's more likelihood that the needle is moved then.
But what do you consider the needle to be moved? Like, what does that mean to you? Like, someone that can move the needle, Carlos Correa for sure, or any of those shortstop really. Carlos Rodon, DeGrom, like those guys move the needle. There aren't a ton of guys that you bring in outside of those guys that are realistically move the needle for you. Like, Cody Bellinger's not going to win you many more games next year than Kevin Kiermaier would.
You're going to play better defense than any guy that the Cubs had out there last year.
Well, sure, but Kevin Kiermaier will too.
You can say the same thing about Kiermaier.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so those aren't really needle movers. Like, those guys alone don't make you anywhere closer to playoff contenders.
Well, you got to wait for the rest of the offseason to play out, and then I can answer that question to you.
Well, I'm trying to ask you, like, what do you think moving the needle means? In that sense, like, I
don't know what moving the needle
I'm asking you what it means, because why does
10 guys?
Why does Cody Bellinger move the needle any more than Kevin Kiermaier? That's what I'm trying to ask.
Well, at least he's a former MVP.
Sure, but that was a long time ago.
I'm just saying. I think if you put those two names out and you walked around Wrigleyville and you walked up to some drunk fans and you were like, who's Cody Bellinger, you'd get a higher percentage of people that would know who Cody Bellinger is.
You're going to draw more fans to Wrigley, probably, but does that make the team?
Does
Cody Bellinger make the team much better than Kevin Kiermaier? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't think Cody Bellinger would move the needle any more than Kevin Kiermaier would, unless he can live up to. He does have a higher ceiling, and I get that, but he hasn't reached that ceiling in three years.
Based off what we know, then yes, you're correct that they're not much any different than. Like, it really doesn't matter. You can take your pick. Fine.
But if you could get Cody Bellinger for 1 year, I'd probably do that over Kevin Kiermaier.
I guess I just don't want to give Kiermaier 2 years when you got a center fielder who just won a minor league Gold Glove in the waiting. And I get it. You can't bank on PCA like the project. Like, what did Theo say?
Development is not linear.
It's not linear. Yep. I get it.
I get it. I think we're still kind of hoping that PCA is ready to go. To start 2024, but that's not a given. Like, he could. He could
get hurt.
He could get hurt. He could struggle all year. Like,
you could have a Brennan Davis type year.
Yes, so it could be. That's still not a given. So that's why I'm saying, like, even that second year for Kiermaier, you can't bank on prospects, but even just to have him as a fourth, even fifth outfielder, that's just
2 years is fine.
Back up.
I'm fine with that.
2 years, 24. That's fine. I just think that if you're going to spend $20 million on a defensive outfielder, why not just do it for 1 year instead of 2 years? And I think Bellinger's going to get a 1 year deal because I think Boris wants to reset his market or his value and hope that he gets back to whatever. Kiermaier, 2 years, okay, you're paying him $12 million this coming season and the year after. I don't know, like,
if Boris was smart,
there's not really much difference, I guess.
If Boris really got what he wanted, he would do a 2 or 3 year deal for Bellinger with the player option after one. So if he's great, he gets his cash and walks away. If he's not great, he gets paid for 3 years. Now,
the LeBron contract.
Jack Brown's asking, well, why does Bellinger's ability to play first matter? Because if you start filling the outfield with guys, prospects that start coming up, you could move them over to first base, which is a greater need at the moment, in my eyes. Like, you still need a first baseman.
Yeah. I think I said it yesterday, Mancini or Bell, but you also said, you guys basically said that the Cubs don't necessarily need those guys when you can get Bellinger, who can play first, and he's a good defensive player in general.
And
that's why I'd be willing to spend more money for that bigger.
And you also have
defensive versality for sure.
You also have Wisdom at first base.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, it's not like the greatest option out there, but there's that right at the end of the season, he played well there. I think David Ross wanted to move him over there, liked him at that position if he could handle it, because they didn't really know what's going to happen with third base moving forward, or what's going to happen with first base moving forward. So you got, like, if you put Bellinger in there, you got like a nice little 3-man rotation of guys that can play first base. And that's also if the Cubs don't go out and get another one of the first basemen, on the market. Josh Bell, Trey Mancini. Again, remember I said yesterday I don't know that the Cubs need them, but there's definitely still a possibility they go get them. Yeah, one of those guys.
Candelario 1 year deal with the Nats. That didn't interest me anyway, so I don't care about that.
Cubs legend though.
Cubs legend, yes.
Yeah, he was the MLB doubles leader in 2021.
Okay.
Stuckey.
All right. Still didn't interest me.
He replaced Nick Castellanos.
What about
for the Tigers?
What about the Judge is obviously the high ceiling for center field. Number 2 on the list is probably Brandon Nimmo.
Yeah.
Right? If you were really spending money, Brandon Nimmo, and it sounds like at the Jose Abreu press conference, the Astros have said they are willing to meet or go above and past the tax threshold. So they're not done spending after the Abreu deal, which was $60 million. Nimmo, 29, left-handed bat, leadoff, 433 slugging last year, 16 home runs. In a perfect world, is he your option in center field? Do you like spending? He'd probably be the highest ticket price, right? Like, I would assume he's going to get the biggest deal out of that group because he's only 29.
Right. He's the highest. He's the biggest target for center field, no doubt.
Yeah.
I don't think the Cubs are interested in him. And the only way that I think that they would get interested is if they did then trade Ian Happ. But I don't think they're going to trade Ian Happ, and they're not trading Seiya Suzuki. So, yeah.
It's
not that I wouldn't take him. I just don't think the Cubs are interested. He hasn't been linked to the Cubs in any kind of rumor. But, yeah, I do think that he'd be a good piece for this Cubs team, but I don't know. I still like he isn't going to be cheap, that's for sure. So I'd rather them spend the bulk of their money on Correa or Turner, But again, Nimmo would be. I'd be really surprised if the Cubs just swooped in and shocked us all. I wouldn't be mad about it, but then I'd have questions like, what are you going to do next? Because then you're loaded with outfield, and this guy's going to demand a 5-year deal. So then you're like, okay, again. Don't want to block PCA. Can't bank on him to also come up and just be great right away, though, at the same time, right? But you still have high hopes for him. Yeah. And you got Brennan Davis, too. And, again, I know
he's
you
also
can't bank on him,
that...
but, there's just, I don't feel like the Cubs are interested in giving a contract to a center fielder for more than 3 years. And he's probably wanting 5 or 6. He
probably wants more. If you could convince him to take more money for less years.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is you're probably going to have to invest – a few more years than what the Cubs are interested in, and a little bit more money than what they want to spend at center field, which is why with all the rumors have guys like Cody Bellinger and Kevin Kiermaier in it. Brandon Nimmo, like you said, has not been linked to the Cubs as much or really at all that I've seen. For all the reasons Cody just stated, it just doesn't strike me as a deal the Cubs are interested in because they have, their top the top 3 prospects are outfielders, something like that, and another 2 or 3, depending on where you're looking. A lot of their top 10 prospects are outfielders, and they have obviously a lot of money invested into Seiya Suzuki and right. They have Ian Happ in left and may end up trying to extend him. There's just a lot of outfield depth in this organization that I just don't. I just don't buy that they want to go out and get another big money. Few more years than they want to give out kind of deal for a guy like Brandon Nimmo, who's good, but it would
make sense if the Cubs were in win now mode. You know what I mean? If they were a piece away from being in World Series contention, kind of like when they signed Hayward and Zobrist, right?
So you mean 2024?
Sure, yeah. If there's more progression and they are in the wild card hunt next year, yeah. Because right now you don't really know who's going to be the leadoff guy for this Cubs team. And I'm just saying hypothetically, if they were in a better position to win the World Series next year, then Nimmo to me would be a guy that I'm like, okay, makes sense. But the team just not in that position.
Let's be honest. Right now, we, the 3 of us here on the CHGO Cubs podcast, we've made a bigger splash in free agency than the Cubs have. We all got Shady Rays.
True. And
2 out of 3 are wearing the new Jordan 1s. We've spent more than the Cubs have spent in free agency at the moment. We got bigger vibes than the Cubs have at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's time for Jed to put on his Jordan 1s and throw on his Shady Rays and go into the big boy pool and go get somebody at the winter meetings. Go do it.
The discourse on social media yesterday was very, very wild.
Once the Jose Abreu trade went down, I'm looking at it. I'm like, it's not the end of the world.
Well, yeah, I don't even think people were upset that they didn't get Abreu.
No, they wouldn't be mad at all if they had one of the shortstops.
Yeah, maybe they were, just honestly, like I said at the end of yesterday's show, I was kind of I think more people are just frustrated because the Cubs haven't done anything yet. They haven't done anything to really change their to move the needle, like I keep saying, right? But I also am seeing people who are like, I'm glad they're not spending money. They're not one move away from winning the World Series. And it's like, there has to be a line, right? Like there has to be a part of you that as a fan, you have to sit back and look at this Cubs roster right now. And yeah, I don't want them to go spend $500 million like the Rangers did last year on 2 shortstops. I don't want them to do that. I do want them to spend intelligently, like Jed says, but they also can't lose out on guys that are on the market because they don't want to go one more year, or maybe because they don't want to go an extra $10 million for Jose Abreu. Like that's the thing. And a lot of people are taking that as like, I want the Cubs to spend $5 million or $500 million in this entire offseason. There has to be like a middling part for us fans, at least on the outlook. And like, that's all I care about. I was getting like reamed on Twitter yesterday because of basically saying that. And a lot of people took it as that I want the Cubs to spend $500 million.
No, but at some point, you have to leave your comfort zone if you want to be great.
That's what Corey said.
That's the bottom line. And that's in life, period. If you want to be great, you better leave your comfort zone at some point. Yeah. Well, if you just do what's comfortable, you know what you're going to be, average or below average.
What was that one quote? It's like if you rationalize every signing, you're going to finish third or something like that.
Yeah. Andrew Friedman from the Dodgers.
Correa said the same thing a couple weeks ago when he was in about like eventually you're going to have to pony up a little bit more to get the guy that you want. And this is the way I look at it in terms of Abreu. Obviously the Sox gave him, or not Sox, the Astros gave him that 3 years, $60 million. It seems like probably just more than the Cubs wanted to spend. And what you're talking about is, are they going to have to do maybe an extra year or spend more money for a guy they want? Yes. Was Jose Abreu the guy they needed to do that for? I don't see it. Carlos Correa, Xander Bogaerts, Trea Turner, like if they want one more year, like another $20 million, whatever, like not AAV, but like another $20 million on a contract, if that's what it takes for the Cubs to do it, then you definitely give that more thought and probably a little more pressure on like, okay, like this is probably a move they have to do that for to get their guy. Jose Abreu just didn't fall into that same category for me. I was like, they needed to give that extra year or that extra however much money it was. Like they didn't need to.
When Correa and Turner and Bogaerts and Swanson sign, they're not with the Cubs, and you learn how much they're getting paid in the years and all this. We as fans can sit here and speculate without really knowing. Like the moment we heard that Abreu got 3 years, I put in the Slack yesterday. I was like, this is why they didn't do it. Yeah. Because it's just based off what we've seen over the last year and a half or two, right? When those four, if one of those four don't go to the Cubs, and we look at those contracts and the money that they got, if we can sit here and be like, and automatically guess or realize why that the Cubs didn't do this, it's probably going to be for the reason I just said, because they're not willing to just give that extra year or pay the extra $10 million or whatever it is. And that is going to be what's most frustrating for fans. And I don't blame them, and then I won't blame them for being pessimistic like Michael Collada is in the chat every day, and anyone else.
He had a good comment today. He said something about, the Astros needed a first baseman. They went and got him. For us, it has to be the right deal or the perfect fit. And we don't know that the Cubs are exactly saying that, but it does feel that way sometimes, right? Like we're always trying to put the perfect circle into the perfect circle hole, and then the perfect square in the perfect square. Sometimes it doesn't always fit just the right way, but it doesn't mean you're not adding good players. And so they have enough holes on this team. They're going to have to be uncomfortable with some of the deals they give some guys.
Right.
Yeah.
At some point, because there aren't enough prospects to take all those spots at this point.
Right. And it kind of goes back to what I said at the end of yesterday's show. Like, yeah, the Cubs gave fair market deals to Rizzo, and it looked like they were going to get the Baez thing done. Then the pandemic came, and in hindsight, it looks like, it's probably the right moves. But if you're going to trade all those guys and not have someone here, you're going to have to pay for other guys. And, that's kind of the point I was trying to make is, you did this to yourself. Now fix it. Because, again, they set the standard. They said we're going to be competing year in and year out, at least for the division. And last year was unacceptable. I don't care if you want to call it a rebuild year or whatever. We had no expectations. It's still unacceptable from what the front office has told us and ownership has told us over the years during the golden era. We've been told that they're going to be in it year in and year out. So, and again, Jed said this wasn't going to be 2012, 2013, 2014 like, all right? I got over the fact that last year was a complete wash and just it was what it was. I got over it. But I'm going to be extremely more critical of this team if this offseason goes like last offseason's did.
If they don't sign one of the shortstops and Cubs convention comes around, they're going to need to cancel it.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Like, if they don't get one of the big boys by the time the Cubs convention rolls around and they're all gone, man, I'd cancel that like the White Sox faster than you can eat. Like,
just don't do the town hall.
No, I wouldn't do any of it.
Off the schedule.
I wouldn't do any of it.
Ricketts ain't going to show up. No.
That's why
no
that's why I'm still optimistic it's happening. And that's why I was optimistic that my Jordan 1s would come through. And I sat there for an hour waiting. I was rewarded. Just like I'm going to be rewarded with hopefully some Green Ridge Farm this weekend because, Chicago local meat and cheese company offering you a better all-natural option. Makers of all-natural deli meat, sausages, and their famous meat sticks. Perfect for tailgating, happy hours, school lunches. Their all-natural meat sticks are hardwood smoked for 8 hours. 16 grams of protein per stick. A perfect post-workout snack for those of you that just hit bench press highs of all time.
265. Yeah, 265 pounds. That's 2 plates and 2 10s on each side, in case you were wondering.
Okay. Meat sticks come in chicken, Black Forest beef, flavors like jalapeno cheddar and spicy chili. Haven't tried them yet? You don't know what you're missing. Delicious because they're made from recipes that are generations in the making, and being all natural, they deliver a fresh, flavorful alternative at snack time. You can always find them in the refrigerated section at Costco, Sam's Club, or your Chicagoland grocery store. So right now, when you order any 3 meat products at greenridgefarm.com, include a pack of meat sticks in your cart. Those meat sticks will be free simply by using the code CHGO at checkout. Green Ridge Farm, simply natural meat.
Guys, Illinois and Syracuse play tonight at the State Farm Center in Champaign. And, if I didn't have to come in studio today, I probably would have drove down to Champaign tonight and then logged on to Game Time to get my last-minute tickets because I'd love to go into State Farm Center tonight and boo the living crap out of Jim Boeheim and then just completely slander anything that has to do with the 2-3 zone. Game Time
2-3 zone is stupid.
It is stupid, right?
I hate it.
I hate the 2-3 zone. Soft, just like Syracuse. Game Time. It's the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing.
What size are you, Stucky?
10.
10.
All right.
10.
Size 10.
Start making your bids.
Never
said
dreamed of
that-
sitting in a seat you never thought you could. 50-yard line, courtside at Illinois, Syracuse, perhaps. Behind home plate, floor seats at a concert. It's possible with the Game Time app. The biggest last-minute
They're
price
not
drops
comfortable?
can be found on the
I don't wanna
seats
sweat in 'em.
you thought you
I'm gonna
could
sell 'em.
never buy. Stucky's not going to do that for his shoes, but you can do that on Game Time. You won't find a better deal this season on Illini tickets, Bulls tickets, Blackhawks tickets, definitely Bears tickets. Created by the fans for the fans, guarantees the lowest price. If you love CHGO, then you'll love Game Time. The best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description on YouTube or in the podcast description. Join over 15 million people who have downloaded the Game Time app and scored the best seats to all your favorite events. And Stucky has taken the shoes off, so his
Just
feet
me
are
and
out
my
for everyone
two
to
best
see.
friends.
Niren asked
Michael and Jeffrey.
Niren asked. He said he would take them, but I think he wants to pay on layaway. He said that
Take
earlier.
Layaway.
He said that earlier.
Whatever I paid, they're going at least double if I'm selling them. Otherwise, you saw what kind of vibe I had with these on.
That's fair.
Like
I
I am
see,
leaning towards keeping them now that I've had them on.
Cody,
my feet.
you know what I was thinking about?
They're more comfortable than I
You're
thought.
talking about Game Time, but I sent you that thing the other day that one of the predictions for the Music City Bowl in Nashville on New Year's Eve is Mizzou, Illinois. Mm-hmm. That'd be a great game to go to.
I'm actually down.
I'd be down.
If it
Stucky,
does
you could
actually
join
happen.
if you'd like.
Texas,
Nah, maybe
Illinois.
I just stay home with my Jordans.
Texas and Illinois play in like a week or two?
I think it's next Monday in Madison Square Garden to kick off the Jimmy V Memorial.
Ah.
Yeah.
Texas, number 2 in the country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they beat
Really?
Gonzaga.
Alabama
Congrats
just
to
beat
them.
North Carolina, didn't they?
They did. It took 4 overtimes.
Yep.
Is Valpo ranked this year?
Who?
Valpo's not ranked.
Valpo's not
ever.
ranked, Stucky. Bryce Drew's not coming back.
Bryce Drew walks through that door. Hey, we got the big tailgate coming up on Sunday. I will not be wearing my Jordans, so don't
I will not
try
be
to
wearing
show
my
up
Jordans
and take
either.
my Jordans.
I'll
but-
probably be wearing Jordans, but not these.
Listen, Bears, Packers. The deal is still there. AllCHGO.com. We have a great time, no matter the outcome of the game, whether you have tickets to the game. Maybe you'll get the tickets on the Game Time app. But make sure you go to AllCHGO.com. Get the tickets now. Of course, if you got diehard status, you're getting 20% off that. So a diehard status, I think, is a great holiday gift because it gets you 20% off our merch all the time. It gets you 20% off our activities and events and all that stuff all the time. Not to mention the content of Ryan's that is behind the wall. Now a lot of it we've opened up so you can read it, but there's still
will
stuff
be
that's
stuff.
behind the wall that will certainly be worth it. And he's heading to the winter meetings this weekend. So I would think
go.
maybe a few of those could potentially
Oh, yeah.
be behind the paywall. So
Oh, yeah.
give the gift that keeps on giving the whole year round, and you won't miss a single thing.
You also get, access to those happy hours that we had
The
one
happy
last
hours,
week with.
we're going to have a
with-
Cubs one soon.
We had one last week with Adam Hogue and Corey Wooten, and there's going to be a Bulls one soon, I believe.
Yeah, I thought about saving these for the first happy hour, and then Cody announced on TikTok and Twitter that he was wearing them. Like, well, the only thing better than one set of Jordan 1s on set would be
There's 2.
2 pair.
Okay.
I need you to put them up to your ears like they're a phone.
This is unbelievable.
We are all so blessed
By the way,
to get to know Luke.
The smell of this leather,
Steve.
the smell of this leather, this is how you know they're good leather. That's
No,
fresh
we
leather
didn't
right
do
there.
it.
That's not cheap leather. This isn't like this
You
is.
didn't lick the bottom of the sole. Did you do
No,
that?
they've been on the floor here.
No.
No, I don't.
Apparently people do that when they take them out of the box for the first time.
So
I don't.
I did have plans early on for a big reveal on these, though. I really did. I was going to get the floor at the United Center put down one day, and I was going to walk in and have the Jordan intro play out and do my first ever TikTok, and I was going to present it to Cody that way. And then my second idea was Benny the Bull coming in here blowing off streamers one day in the middle of the show and presenting me the Jordans, but Cody ruined it by deciding he was going to wear them today, and I said, well, maybe this is the day they get Correa.
Benny the Bull's also a little busy, I would think.
Do it.
Okay.
Benny would do it. All right, so Jesse Rogers, Ryan saw, talked about the shortstops. We love Jesse. He's not always the most positive Cubs reporter out there. You know, he'll tell you the down and dirty side of the way things are going. He doesn't believe they're getting one of the big shortstops. Believes they're going to spend more like Colada money than big money. Although when he did the ESPN picks, he did say it's either who was the other team that he said for Bogarts?
I don't
Phillies?
remember.
Anyways, he had one of 2 teams getting Bogarts, and he had the Cubs as a 50-50 shot at Bogarts.
Yeah, it was the Cubs and Giants, I think.
Giants.
for
I think the
Bogarts.
Giants
Yeah.
were the other team.
Yeah.
Anyway, do we have that clip of Jesse talking about that?
It's a
By any
little
chance?
longer.
It's in the,
It's a little long. You want to give us the gist of it?
It is a little longer.
it's in the Slack, Joey, just in case.
Yeah, well, if Joey wants to put it up there, I do know.
Let's Ryan, give the
Yeah,
gist
let's hear the
thing.
summary of it.
Well, the main thing that I took away from it is, again, the Cubs are just involved in rumors and coming from all corners of like who they're involved with, who's most likely, who's the favorite, whatever. And Jesse, one of the things he did say was that he's hearing more Turner and Bogarts. I think it was Turner and Bogarts.
I thought you said Turner and Swanson.
I'm pretty sure it's Turner and Turner and Swanson. Yeah, you may be
Turner
right.
and Swanson.
Yeah.
Again, I'm still fine with that.
But that's just like
I love Turner. I think Turner be.
Turner's probably number 1 on a lot of people.
I'm as much Turner as I am Correa.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
so there's that.
This is on MLB Network, by the way.
This is on MLB Network. The clip was posted earlier today. But again, that's just like another thing where it's like, John Morosi keeps pushing the Cubs and Carlos Correa. There's rumors that the Cubs, like you said, Cubs aren't going to get anyone, or Cubs are more interested in, Bogarts. And it just keeps, I don't know, it just keeps messing with, or makes me realize, how just messed up and free agency is, and how, no one really knows anything. No one really knows what anyone's plan is, except for, obviously, the people. Jed and Carter and whoever else is in that group of making these decisions. Those are the only ones that really know what's going on. But even then, they don't know what the players are thinking. They don't know, what is going to, secure a player to want to come to Chicago. Because all the players are different, too. And what they desire and what they think, they're all different for all four of those guys. So, I don't know. It just keeps making it seem like something's gonna happen, and we're not gonna be ready for it because we have no idea. We really have no idea what is gonna happen in free agency right now.
Yeah.
Especially with the shortstops.
Aaron says I could get $429 on these shoes. By the way, now that's starting to look attractive to me. I wonder if Collada would pony up for these.
No, he said that's a waste of money.
Well, he's out there spending Ricketts' money. He won't spend his money on a pair of.
He'll be at Cubs convention, giving Tom a piece of his mind.
It was Swanson and Turner, by the way.
I also love Michael Collada's last comment, but I'm not going to read it. But I just want him to know that I like his comment.
I don't encourage anger or picking on anybody, but Joel has a funny comment. He says, Jesse Rogers eats Raisin Bran for breakfast. These reports suck.
Joel's always coming in with the fire comments. He leaves some of the more funny comments that we get.
He told you to lick the leather and show your commitment to the sneakerhead community.
No, because if I sell them, I don't want somebody saying that the shoes have been licked.
Show your loyalty to the sneakerhead community, Stuck. Come on now.
No.
Well, anyway, as far as what he said on MLB Network about this stuff related to Swanson and Turner, I mean, it just goes back to more of what I've kind of said in terms of I just think winter meetings are where all four of these guys are going to go, and or we're going to learn where all four of these guys are going to go. So
maybe have a better idea of that.
Yeah, I don't know at this point.
You want something less exciting? Was the MLB article that he found from Mike Petrillo, I'm not sure. Sorry, Mike.
Petrello.
I'm not sure. Petrello.
There you go.
He says relievers that could make a difference: Chris Martin and Shelby Miller. Now, if the Cubs sign either one of those guys and don't make a big move, set off the air raid sirens over at Soldier Field. Set them off and let the Cubs fans loose because, listen, they might make a difference. They also might be absolutely nothing.
It's not
you're
like the
talking
Cubs are
about flyers. I'd rather take a flyer on Cody Bellinger than I would Shelby Miller this season.
Oh, for sure.
I
only threw that in the Slack channel because the
Charlie
Cubs
Sheen.
are known for taking flyers on relievers.
They are.
And they have majority of them have worked out. So we've talked about the pitch lab. Chris Martin was on that list. There was another guy in there that he said that he could see him being as a high leverage closer. I know the Cubs need a closer. Anyway.
When I look at it is kind of what you said, even preseason before 2022. It's you don't really worry about the Cubs filling out their bullpen anymore because they've proven they do a pretty good job of it.
Yeah.
They don't need to go out and spend a lot of money on obviously Edwin Diaz is off the market, but that type of reliever because they went out and gave David Robertson peanuts and he was one of the best closers in baseball for a while.
I want to hope that the Cubs can develop their own closer, like Jeremiah Estrada, for example.
That's the whole thing. Brandon Hughes. Brandon Hughes developed into a pretty solid.
Oh, sorry. I was just taking a selfie with my Jordans.
Stucky is on one today.
Taking a selfie with my Jordan
He's going overboard. Brandon Hughes developed into a pretty solid, back end reliever, and you want to see that. I mean, that was a very small sample size, so you want to see it moving forward, obviously. But I don't. The Cubs don't need to. That's a priority, obviously, and that's on the offseason to-do list is signing some, veteran relievers, high end or back end guys, 7th, 8th inning guys, whatever. But it's also not it's kind of where first base was for me. It's not as high on the priority list this offseason as other things because they're gonna
the bottom of the list.
They're gonna do it, and they're probably gonna do it well. And they might not find as many diamonds in the roughs as they had in the last couple of years, but they'll have at least one good cheap signing that turns out pretty well. That's I think the confidence you have in the Cubs developing, solid bullpens over the last few years. I think that's where we're at now, is we don't really have to worry about that.
Joel, the sneakers might not leave Arlington Heights. They felt very comfortable.
Joel had an absolutely out-of-pocket comment about something about sneakers. I don't even know what that means.
Joel, I know what he's saying, but
I know what he's saying. I don't know what he means by that.
Colada says, okay, Luke, I go camping in January and I need more shoes for the mud, $20. What? Don't disrespect the greatest athlete of all time. These are the Jordan 1s, Colada. If you're gonna spend like Ricketts, this is where you spend. And you can't just spend, you gotta be lucky enough to win the lottery first. Right now, Niren is winning the lottery if he ponies up a little bit more than $429.
Just a little bit.
Come on.
Just a little bit more.
By the way, a place where you can get some really cool merch is FOCO. Chicago, you've already got the best coverage for your favorite teams. Now get fitted in the best sports gear around. FOCO's got you covered from Soldier Field to the living room, north side, south side, hoodies, slippers, signs, bobbleheads, everything in between. Get decked out like tomorrow with apparel from the leader in sports merch and collectibles, FOCO. Looking for that perfect holiday gift for the football fan in your life? FOCO's got you covered with hoodies to fight the Lake Michigan breeze. Check out FOCO.com or click the link in the description below for all those non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO for 10% off.
Oh, is it me? Chi-Town Cornhole.
So Ryan was distracted by my shoes. He paused for a second.
Yeah. Chi-Town Custom Cornhole, the #1 cornhole provider for Chicagoland and Illinois since 2007. Our signature box-style designs can be digitally printed, covered in vinyl, and painted. Chi-Town Cornhole boards come with built-in drink holders, recessed in on the back, LEDs that light up the hole, and exterior handles for easy carrying, and handcrafted scorekeepers. Like the ones that we have from Chi-Town Cornhole, we have 2 sets of them, the LED lights and stuff like that. They're really cool. They're super cool. Like when you put the LED lights on there, I've never seen cooler, cornhole boards. I say bags, but whatever. We
know what you mean.
We'll go cornhole boards because that's what they go with, and they took care of us, got us some really cool stuff. So we're going with cornhole for now. Chi-Town Cornhole is veteran owned and operated. They can ship anywhere, and they offer local pickups. They specialize in corporate designs for your company's next marketing or social event, wedding gifts, and gifts for all occasions, and especially for tailgaters and backyard barbecues. Go check out their website, ChiTownCornhole.com, and make sure to follow them on Instagram at Chi-Town Custom Cornhole Boards. Really cool stuff. They do great work. You need a bag set for your next tailgate, or you're having a party in your backyard, you're doing a barbecue, you need some boards. Chi-Town Cornhole has got you covered.
Very nice. They are great boards. The LED lights are what really make them special.
Well, that's what I'm
opinion.
saying.
Yeah, that's what really sets them apart.
Yeah.
By the way, on the Jordan 1s that I won, I've heard that the box is worth a little something because it's what do they call that? Lost and found. So even the box is specialized. It's got special
the
paper in there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's.
But Cody, you had some sales slip from some store.
It should be in that box too.
You think it's in there?
It should be, yeah.
Luke, you didn't even find the laces. I'm sure
right.
they're in there.
I didn't think of that. I got to go back to Dick's Sporting Goods.
You struggled.
Go
Sean,
back to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Luke, you might know this place. Sean said he'd trade the Jordans for a month of free meals at Javier's in Arlington Heights.
Oh, it is in there.
Okay.
He's not paying attention to anything you just
Christmas.
said.
I've been to Javier's. I know Javier's.
I know them pretty well. We know them. My family knows the owners.
Really good Mexican food, Northwest Highway.
Yep.
Great fajitas, by the way. I like their fajitas
Fantastic.
a lot.
Ryan, what's your favorite thing at Javier's if I ever go? I go.
Everything's good. Yeah, like he said, fajitas are really good. Tacos are really good.
Yeah.
So whatever you enjoy, they'll have good of it there.
So I should drop your name next time I'm in?
Maybe my dad's name.
All right.
Maybe.
You heard it here, folks.
I'm waiting for the
who made that
Arlington
comment?
Heights crew to invite me to Arlington Heights
Sean?
to go to Javier.
Sean, drop Ryan Herrera's
Or anywhere,
name next time you're there.
Because I'm told it's such a great
I
spot.
live close enough to walk there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, nice and close to Javier's. Yeah, on the other side, you got Egg Harbor Cafe. You get those cinnamon roll.
That's pretty
cinnamon
good
roll
too.
pancakes.
There's some really good
cinnamon roll
spots
French
right there.
toast.
CHGO Food Podcast is back, baby. Ooh.
There's some good food.
Got me
spots
all
over
hungry.
there. And I'm starving.
If I keep eating the way I ate at Thanksgiving, these Jordans aren't going to fit on my feet much longer. Just swelling up with all the salt I've been eating.
They have cankles.
The carbs are going straight to Stucky's feet.
They really are. They really are. Hey, we should finally get this done. It's 2:15. We've waited since maybe like October 1st. Our David Ross report cards.
I think we made them.
Let's wrap it up with the David
We made
Ross
them right
cards.
before
Yeah.
free agency opened.
They were
been like
made
a
on
month.
November 9th.
November
Yeah,
9th.
it's been a while.
Almost
We've
a
had
month.
so much to talk about that
Somehow.
we didn't need the David
You
Ross report
guys
cards.
where were you when we did the David Ross grades? That's what we'll be saying in, I don't know.
I'll tell you what I was wearing.
Yeah, there you go.
Jordan 1.
Same.
Chicago, lost and found.
Who wants to go first?
I don't remember what
even
I don't remember what I
put.
gave him, so
Yeah.
All right, we'll go Ryan first.
All right.
Not gonna remember
Yeah,
November.
I gave him a B.
You did give him a B.
I gave him a B.
Yeah, I totally did that.
Yeah, so I gave him
Early
a B.
November. Who remembers that?
And now that I'm trying to remember, I'm thinking back to it.
Let me see what you guys, so Luke and Cody can prepare and know. Luke also gave him a B.
Well, so you're
Okay,
giving them
okay.
time to
Yeah,
prepare,
but
and
I'm
just
also
going
giving
off the
you
cuff.
this time right now. You should
Yeah,
be.
that's right. That's true.
It's because he's the young one. He's
Cody
the young
gave
one.
him.
Cody, that's pretty
Cody gave
harsh,
him
all
a
right.
C plus. So
right.
BB C
Harsh.
plus.
I think he did a fine job for what he had. I mean, he didn't have a roster to win many games. Like, they weren't making the playoffs this year unless everything went right. They didn't. Like, he didn't have the depth to work with. He didn't have, especially after the trade deadline, the bullpen was tough. And it's tough to critique his managing again in a season when the
Yes.
roster is just not great. It's not built to win. And you obviously knock him for like that 10-game losing streak in May. Well, I think it was in May. Like, you still let the team lose 10 games. Like, managers, I don't know, it's tough to quantify how much of a role they have and stuff like that. But the team still lost 10 games in a row under your watch. Like, so that obviously isn't good. And I think they had like another 9-game losing streak at one point. Like, they were on pace to lose at or above 100 games for a good chunk of the season. Like, there was a good part of that where that seemed like a genuine possibility. And I think that second half obviously was great. He lost 4 big bullpen pieces, and was able to kind of fill that back out after a couple weeks of figuring it out. They played a lot better. Obviously, the second half record was great. Well, not great, but it was in the upper tier of second half records. I don't know how much stock you put in that, but because you need to see that continue to next season. But
Oh, sorry.
you're obsessed.
Get another.
You're not even going
portrait
to keep
shot.
them.
Stucky
my
has
God.
literally been on this entire show.
It's tough to give him less than like a B because he again, I think he did fine for what he was given.
Yeah.
It just maybe it could have been like a B minus C plus. I think that C plus to B range is all pretty similar because it just depends how much stock you put into what he did as a manager, but also like how you felt about the roster.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I went C plus. Luke, unless you want to go, unless
No,
you have anything.
go ahead.
Okay,
No, go
so
ahead.
I went C plus, and I understand that's a little harsh. Even Collada's given David Ross a B, which is
Wow. Everybody gets
Big
a
of
B.
him.
Everybody
Very
gets
big
a
of
B.
him.
He says
All-star
CHGO
team.
Cubs All-Star team needs the All-Star man.
Yeah, right. No, I go C plus because as much as you can't blame him for how the roster is constructed and all this and that, the amount of times the guy led Rafael Ortega off, the amount of times the guy put VR in the lineup, the amount of times he put this guy or that guy in the lineup, and like they were clearly struggling, they weren't doing well, and there were other options, even on the active roster, I think.
I just get the feeling that it had more to do with like, okay, you're try to trade these guys at the trade deadline, build them up. If they have if Rafael Ortega after June, that run he had, I think it was June, and if they would have traded him right then,
Yes.
he would actually had like some value.
Or if he
But
would have
then-
continued it.
Yeah, but then that July tanked his value, of course, and so there was really nothing to
Right.
trade. But if they would have been like, all right, trade Rafael Ortega after he had a great month of June, he was hitting righties like he needed to, and there's probably a team out there that if that was if that was leading up to the trade deadline, there's probably a team out there like, oh man, we need a left-handed bat that can hit righties. That's where I get the feeling is like the frustration over playing these guys is like I get the feeling that it was to try to build some trade value. Then obviously when there wasn't anything, They DFA'd Simmons. They DFA'd VR. Like, they finally, and maybe that took a little too long, but they finally, like, figured out, like, okay, we're not going to get anything for these guys.
I get it. Like, it's hard. Like, how much can you blame the manager for that? Whatever. But I don't know. To me, like, that's kind of like the one thing I can, and it isn't even just with those guys. I think there's other guys that he is given belief in for too long. I mean, hell, he straight up admitted that he was playing Jason Hayward for respect or whatever. And it's like, dude, you were on you're managing a rebuilding team, and we got to see if these guys are anything for next year's team. Like, I mean,
we still learned it though.
They straight up, like, I think they put Hayward on the IL or whatever just so David Ross didn't play him. I don't know. It's like that's the main thing that kind of scares me about him. Again, I like that he's the manager. I'm happy he's the manager. He gets the guys up to play for him even when the team is down and out and there's nothing to play for. I mean, the way they played in the second half behind him was awesome. But the one thing for sure that, like, gives me any kind of worry going into 2023 with him is that he will latch on to certain guys and will let that leash go longer than I think.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
That he should.
I don't know, because Hayward is a little different story. Now the only guy left on the team that he's played with was Kyle Hendricks, and he can't play Kyle Hendricks every day. So it's just like, I mean,
even Jed went on 670 the score whenever we were all sitting here talking about why is Hayward playing every day, and even Jed straight up was like, yeah, I don't know why he's playing every day.
Well, it's over. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't.
But that goes into my grade.
That goes into your grade.
That goes into my grade.
That's fair. But I would say you said it scares you. I'm not scared of that.
Okay.
I'm not scared of that because he's gone now. Like, it's that chapter is over.
There's going to be other players, whoever they are, and like
but those aren't guys.
My thing is like, if you bring some guys in that are veterans and they're struggling during a certain part of the season, and it's like, but you continue to play them consistently, you gotta, like, to me, you have to, like, shake it up.
Yeah, but I think the one thing he said out of that was that video with our friend of the program, Eugene McIntosh, was loyalty. It wasn't like anything.
Loyalty.
It was loyalty. Who are they going to bring in that he's loyal to anymore? Like, there's no. I mean,
it doesn't exist. They're all gone.
That's what I'm saying. I get the thing with Hayward, and like, as much as that frustrated people, I got it, because this is a guy he knew since Hayward was a rookie, had played, in Atlanta, played with the Cubs, managed him for a few years on the Cubs. Like,
and it wasn't impacting a playoff run. It wasn't impacting a team that could make the playoffs.
That is a different story.
Right.
That is a different story, and I don't think there's going to be any type of, like, loyalty thing that's going to affect the way he manages a team moving forward.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. I agree with Michael Collada in some ways, not with the wording that he uses. He says the garbage on the field, they never stopped trying to win and playing hard. They did play hard. I don't believe they had major league talent at multiple positions, multiple times, multiple days a week. Yeah. Right? Like, so, and I think Tom's comment in the chat is also right on. He said the only David Ross grade that matters will start next year. But I went B because A, he didn't have the talent, B, they played hard, and C, they went on a pretty good stretch after they dumped their entire bullpen.
Yeah.
And some of the young guys really did develop. Whether or not he gets credit for that or the organization gets credit for that, I don't know. I'm just saying, under his watch, we have now seen Nico Horner greatly improve. Right? We've seen it. We've seen Morrell come out of the farm system. We've seen Steele and Thompson improve. So I'll give him a B, and it probably doesn't even matter this year because, as Tom says, it really starts next year. That is, of course, if they sign some free agents this offseason.
Right. Again, I don't know. I still don't feel bad about my C+, but
it's not the worst grade. A C would have been fine. It's a passing grade, and it was average.
Well, that's what I said. It's like the C+ to B range for this didn't feel like I could have given him a B-. Like, maybe C+. I wouldn't have gone that low, but I mean, it's not like that range is very, like, similar in my opinion. Like, as far as it just depended on what you took stock in for him as a manager. If you critiqued him for things that realistically shouldn't have been critiqued this year because it just wasn't like when people would get mad at his, like, bullpen decisions or anything like that. It's like sometimes it's like, well, what were they gonna do? Like, they weren't gonna win anything, so this one game didn't really matter in the long run.
Fair. That's fine. I guess I'm hopeful for next year with him. But yeah, again, it hasn't been perfect. I get the roster, I get it, but I don't know.
I do think the
if
culture.
if you put together a winning roster and you see a lot of the same things I just said next year, then I think it justifies.
That's what
Agreed.
the thing was that Tom said is like next year's grade is the only one that matters. Is like if they have a team that can make a playoff push and they struggle, then you start being like, well, what's going on?
Right. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Hopefully something happens tomorrow. It probably won't be as big as our Jordan reveal today, but we will be back here live. Corey Freeman. Let me do it again for you. They rise out of the darkness.
The CHGO Bulls podcast.
By the way, look at the power and strength in those quads to hold that still. Anyways,
it's free to be friends with Luke Stockmeyer.
Again,
unbelievable.
You can bid on these on eBay. I'll be keeping you guys posted on that.
He's gonna tweet the link.
Show
out.
Warn, they're going to be called. Not Warn, but Podcast Warn. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by DraftKings. If there's breaking news, we will have another emergency podcast before the next one, which is coming up on Wednesday. Corey Friedman will join us in studio, and we'll see if he won the Jordan shoe lottery. All I know is I did, and my vibes are in the pocket.
So are mine.
Look at those. Fly the W.